This is Brian Buchanan. I'm one of the attorneys with Grimes, Teich, Anderson. I want to talk to you today about some tips for succeeding with your Social Security disability claim. Besides helping with your claim, I think some of these tips will also help you with whatever your condition is that has resulted in your applying for Social Security disability. The first tip is you need to get treatment for your condition. Sometimes people are diagnosed with very serious conditions or injuries, and there's not a lot that the doctors tell them they can do. They may say that they don't recommend a surgery or they don't have a particular cure for the problem. But you do still need to regularly follow up with your doctor so that your doctor can document how your condition is progressing. If your condition is getting worse, that needs to be in the records. Just because you have a discouraging situation doesn't mean that you don't need to continue going to the doctor and checking to see what can be done or letting your doctor see how your condition is progressing. It's important when you have a Social Security disability claim to have medical documentation of your condition and how it's progressing. The next suggestion I have is to follow your doctor's recommendations. I know that sounds simple, but a lot of times folks don't go either because they can't afford or they get discouraged and they don't do what the doctor says, whether it's physical therapy or taking medications. But if your records show that you're not following your doctor's instructions, it'll hurt your case. I had a client recently, and one of his conditions was diabetes, and in the medical records there were a couple of times where the doctor had noted that he was not taking all of the prescribed medications for his diabetes. And I knew that that was going to be a question that the judge would ask him about at the hearing, and when I was preparing him for the hearing I talked with him about it. And as it turned out, because he was not able to do his job anymore and his family and the other people that he had depended on weren't always able to help him pay for his prescriptions, he just didn't have the money. And he had called his doctor and said he was out of medicine and asked them what to do, and we found that that was in the records, and we were able to point that out to the judge, and it really helped the case that he was not taking his medication because he couldn't afford to obtain it, not because he was just choosing not to follow the doctor's directions. If, like lots of folks, especially if you are pursuing a Social Security disability claim, you're having trouble getting medical treatment or having trouble getting prescriptions, you still need to talk to your doctor or your doctor's office about it. Sometimes they'll make notes that you called, that you couldn't afford your medication. Sometimes they'll have samples that they can give you. Sometimes they can recommend agencies or other assistance, or they can prescribe similar drugs that are less expensive and hopefully do the same job. Another thing that I suggest is that you talk to your doctor about writing a statement for your Social Security disability application. By that, I don't just mean a statement that says, John Doe is my patient and I believe he's disabled. The Social Security Administration sees those on a regular basis, and it's good anytime you can get your doctor to write a statement for you. But it's really helpful if the doctor will write a statement that instead of saying, I believe he's disabled, it says, these are his conditions or her conditions, and these are the symptoms, and these are the things that they can't do anymore because of their condition. If they can explain, it takes a little more time on the doctor's part to do it, but if they can explain the situation or the problems that you're having for the court, it really helps with the case. My final suggestion is to find an experienced disability attorney. Attorneys will help you get the records that you need. They'll review the records that Social Security has already requested. If there are missing records, they'll get those records and make sure they're in the file. If you've seen the doctor recently before your hearing, we can make sure that those records are added to the file before the hearing so that your most current information is there. And then they'll help point out the important or critical facts in your case when you have a hearing, because a lot of times folks with medical problems have a lot of records, and even though the Social Security Administration is supposed to review everything in the file, having someone on your behalf who can point out the critical, most important things in a relatively short hearing really improves your chances for succeeding. We'll talk to you at Grimes, Teich, Anderson. There's no fee to discuss a Social Security disability case, and there's no fee unless you recover benefits.